Energy.
Energy. Did you just say Rochelle Obama? Michelle. Okay, because I thought you said Rochelle Obama.
I know I have a thick accent. What's your name? Sarah.
These people aren't calling me Mustang. Because everyone says to me, do people call you Mustang? And I'm like, not twice.
I use my fake name.
What's your fake name?
Sally.
To talk to you today, just about you and your channel and what a great thing I think that you're doing for lesbians, young lesbians particularly.
Great, thanks so much.
Yeah, so why did you start the channel?
Well, I honestly, it was just because I kept getting questions from my fan base because I came out as a lesbian. And then I kept getting questions that at first I was like, wow, those are stupid questions.
Yeah.
And then, as we do, we're really judgmental and mean sometimes. And then I was like, okay, well, I keep getting all these questions about, like, can I get HIV from fingering someone? And so I was like, okay, let me look for sex ed resources that are specifically based in queer sex and, queer femsex. And I couldn't find any. And I was like, holy shit, I guess if no one else is going to do it, I will.
Yeah.
And, there are, and since I started making the videos, because I come from a very specific part of content creation online, which is YouTube. Since I started making my videos, I've found lots of other resources, but none of them are really YouTube videos. None of them are specifically that, right? Because there's blogs, there's websites, there's some podcasts, I think. But that just wasn't the way that I consume content.
Yep.
And not a lot of way, as far as, like, I know specific age groups, they just watch YouTube, and that's their source of entertainment, that's their source of information. So then I started making videos, trying to somehow be qualified to teach people about sex.
Yeah, and I think that you're pretty qualified. Like, I mean, I've watched your videos, and even, I mean, I'm 38, and even some of it, I'm like, oh, okay, that, yeah, because I mean, I just, one that stands out is the fisting one. I think that was fairly recent, and even I learned something in that. So,
yeah, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I consider myself a bona fide lesbian, so I'm like, no one can teach me anything. But no, it turns out that you can. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I think that, we don't, especially as lesbians, right? We're so over-sexualized by the mainstream.
Yeah.
So we are kind of de-incentivized to talk about the kind of sex we're having because we don't want to be, whatever, have violence against us, or people say gross things or stupid things or whatever. We just want to live our fucking lives and fuck women and goddamn peace, right? Yeah. So, I think that we just don't talk about it as much, right? I think that as far as sexualities go, maybe we're one of the most over-sexualized and yet undereducated. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I really agree with that. Because even like when you're talking about like people's first times, like what do you do? It's kind of like you're looking at porn videos, I guess, and thinking, well, is this how it all goes down, kind of thing. Like, yeah. I mean, I think specifically my friends and I have a joke about scissoring. I've never scissored, and neither of my friends, and yet everyone thinks that's what we're doing. So yeah, I don't know.
Thanks, South Park.
Sorry?
I said thanks, South Park. That's why it got popularized, because on an episode of South Park they talked about lesbians, and then they just kept saying scissoring and scissor sisters and whatever, and that's why it became popular culture.
Oh my god, no, I didn't realize that.
It's so funny that a cartoon made jokes about lesbian scissoring, and now that's what everyone thinks we do.
Oh my God. And it just looks like such hard work, to be honest. You know, when you're watching.
All of them unsuccessful. I mean, I guess they were successful, but not pleasurable for me, at least.
No. It's just body at a weird angle and kind of crazy stuff like that. But sex education, I think, too, for LGBT people is really lacking in schools and stuff as well. And I know particularly in the US, there seems to be a lack of, like LGBT kids learning and having positive kind of conversations about sex for them and how it differs from like heteronormative kind of stuff.
I believe the latest stat is that not only is sex ed not queer inclusive in like 49 or 50 states, but in 7 states, it is illegal for a sex ed teacher, a health teacher, any teacher to acknowledge LGBT relationships or sex or anything about it. Like, they can't be like, hi, gay people exist. That's illegal. They can be fired or sued.
I don't understand that at all. Like, that makes no sense to me as to, yeah. So the kind of people that are looking at your videos are these people, I guess, in these kind of situations who are just like, what the fuck do I do? You know, I'm gay. I'm gay. I like this girl and I want to have sex with her, but how do I do sex to the girl? Yeah.
They did a study in New York among teenagers, high school students, and they found that, God, I hope I'm quoting this right. Don't quote me exactly because I don't remember. But I think it said that queer teens, so doesn't matter what their sex or gender was, because they usually study only people that can get pregnant, right? They're like, how many times have you gotten pregnant or whatever? But this specific study tested people with penises too, asking how many times they caused a pregnancy, which was cool for them to do.
Yeah.
And it said that queer teens are 10 times more likely to experience a pregnancy or cause a pregnancy than straight teens. And at first you're like, that makes no sense. Like, what? But if you think about it, we're all experimenting or whatever. You know, there are lots of queer people that have had sex with, you know, people that don't really fit into the genders that they're attracted to.
Yeah.
Because they're curious and experimenting and whatever. And if sex ed leaves queer people behind, they're going to feel left behind. They're going to feel not listened to. They're not going to pay attention. They're not going to learn if you don't feel seen in the kind of education that you're having. So they're so undereducated. They're even less educated than straight people because they're left behind.
Yeah. And that brings up like a lot of other issues too, like sexual health and stuff as well. Like, how do you stay safe if you don't even know how to stay safe? Yeah. It kind of blows my mind. What kind of reaction do you get to the channel?
Terrible. I mean, a lot of it is really, really, really wonderful. But I don't know if you know I've tweeted about it so much. I hope everyone knows, but I don't know. YouTube has been demonetizing queer content because their algorithm has learned to be like homophobic and transphobic. But YouTube's algorithm also demonizes sex ed content and also content where you curse. And using curse words is how I've always talked. It's how I was raised, and that's part of my communication. And I think a lot of teenagers also curse, so that's why I curse in my videos. I don't, use language calling people names or anything, but I just say, anyway, this is fucking cool,
Yeah.
So I have like 3 strikes against me on that front, right? So if the algorithm picks me up for being gay, I get demonetized. If the algorithm picks me up for talking about sex, I get demonetized. If the algorithm picks me up for saying bitch or ass or oral or latex or anything that they consider as a curse word, then I get demonetized. So I'm kind of like not able to fly under the radar like a lot of other, for instance, either not cursing or straight sex ed channels hosted by straight people are, which kind of sucks because I don't want to go after them, right? I don't want to like tweet, well, this is my friend and she's straight and her sex ed videos aren't demonetized, because that's not the point. I don't want them to be demonetized. I want queer stuff to not be demonetized as well. So it's just created this double standard, and like, what do I do? You know? And my videos are tanking, my channel is tanking, and I don't know. The only way that I'm able to continue making the videos and pay my team and my editor and my writer is by Patreon donations.
So what do you do, like, with YouTube? Like, I mean, like, obviously you've contacted them and stuff. Like, are they aware of this problem?
I wish YouTube had a customer service line. That would be great. I have the YouTube contact. I think my manager says that she's been rescheduling our meetings for like a year.
Right.
So I have no idea. Yeah, so sometimes if your channel is big enough, you can have a contact at YouTube. But yeah, you can't just like call them up and be like, what's up? You have to like schedule meetings every 3 months or whatever. And I haven't been able to get one. But lots of my friends have been invited to go to YouTube headquarters and of course sign an NDA, so you can't speak about anything that you're saying. And then they discuss with them and ask them for advice about their algorithm and all of that stuff. But yeah, they've made public statements saying that they're working on it, and it's still happening. And I just had my video about fisting. There are no sex toys in the video. It's literally just because fisting sounds scary and icky, and it's about queer stuff that 2 people have age restricted that video. Nothing in that video is incited to arouse.
No.
Like, it's educational content that if people are curious about fisting, they will be looking at fisting porn. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's the other option. So I don't understand why an age restricted is even worse than demonetization, because you have to sign in like 3 times before you're able to even watch the content. And my friend Chase Ross, he makes videos for trans guys about not even sex. I mean, some of his videos are about sex, but it's about like stand to pee mechanisms, right? So like the phalluses that they can pee with. And all of his videos are age restricted, and he's like, what the hell? This is not even a sex toy. What is going on? I'm trying to help trans guys, and you're making it impossible for them to find my video, because it kills the search engine optimization when you get demonetized or age restricted. So if I were to Google like Chase Ross peen, then, or like stand to pee, or like whatever, it just wouldn't show up in search.
Bloody hell. I can't, yeah, it feels at the moment like, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the US, but worldwide, like, it feels like there's so much shit coming down on the LGBT community. Like, you can't sort of wake up in the morning without some bullshit thing happening to kind of, I don't know, erase everybody in a way. And that kind of YouTube stuff makes me think of that at the moment. How is it there at the moment, like, for LGBT people?
Oh, trans people are under fucking attack. I don't know if you've heard of recent like redefinition of gender or whatever the hell.
What the fuck is that? Can you talk me through that? Because I don't understand how this even started. Like, we woke up yesterday and this is what we'd heard. And my partner on the podcast, my co-host, is trans, and we're just like, what the fuck is going on?
I have no idea. I just know the only thing, I just like read a quick article, and it was about how they're trying to redefine gender. So basically, I would assume that would stop trans people from being able to claim discrimination in the workplace, to be able to claim with their insurance companies, to have their health care taken care of by their insurance. I don't know, passports, like getting passports. It can say, they can basically claim that trans people are lying on government paperwork so that they could potentially be arrested or denied access to their families or their job or whatever. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And I have no idea why people are so threatened by trans people. Like, what the fuck is going on? But
yeah, I hear all this stuff. Like, I sort of go in and out of Reddit as well, and there's a lot of bullshit about trans stuff, like lesbians and trans women and death threats and all this kind of stuff. And I can't wrap my head around it. I don't understand why everyone's got such a massive issue with everybody at the moment.
Yeah, I just think that we're all in this together. I don't know why we need to keep fighting with each other. We should be looking out for each other, you know? Yeah,
well, we just legalized same-sex marriage here last year. And it's been interesting sort of doing that, because since then our government have kind of tried to do like religious reforms and do all that kind of stuff. So it means that gay kids could potentially be kicked out of a private school, private religious school, for being gay. And yeah, so we've had all this backlash from that, like religious people and stuff at the moment. Like the world is crazy at the moment. I don't really understand. But in regard to, sorry, the US, like apart from the trans stuff, what is it like for LGBT people at the moment?
Oh God, the U.S. is such a big place, so that would vary greatly. I know that. I mean, I've lived in like 27 states, but I'm very straight passing. You know, people can't really look at me and tell that I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
So for me, I haven't super had a ton of adversity as far as like interacting with strangers or jobs or whatever. When I first came out in college, my neighbors were like these like little, you know, frattish boys, and they would like vandalize my car, break into my house and steal all my food, and write like "dyke" on my car with like shaving cream or whatever. And here people will like tell me I'm gross, like if they see me kissing a girl in LA.
Jesus.
That's only happened like twice. So.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but you know, I'm from the South, so I'm from like a tiny little town of 13,000 people in Texas, and I had no idea I was gay. I was definitely not out in high school or anything before I moved away, but I definitely saw how people would treat gay people, you know, there. Yeah. And I think that a lot of it is informed. It's all otherness, and it's fucking toxic masculinity, and it's religion, honestly.
Yeah, that to me seems like the biggest problem. And they have so much sway in government and stuff like that.
Yep.
When did you find out that you were gay? Like, when did you sort of realize that was what was going on?
So I didn't know girls could masturbate. Because like this one of the first boys I ever dated, he taught me what an orgasm was, and he told me that I was 17, and he told me that boys could do it on their own, and boys could do it with sex with girls, but girls could only have an orgasm if they were having sex with a boy. And I believed him because, of course, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
That totally makes so much sense. But like my sex ed included like, this is what periods are, and if you swim in a pool with boys with a bikini, you'll get pregnant. So,
oh my God.
Undereducated there.
And very stressful.
Yeah, what? If I wear a one piece, I won't get pregnant? This makes no scientific sense. And then I had a boyfriend when I was 18, about to turn 19, and he was like, wait, what did you just say? No. You can masturbate. And I was like, I can? So I started masturbating and then was like, something's different. Something's going on. And then I started freshman year of college and fell in love with a girl. And I was like, my knowledge of gay is that gay is wrong. And I'm not wrong, so I can't be gay. That was my logic stream. Wow. And so I was like, but I love her, and I'm going to hate sex with her because I'm not gay. So this is so awful.
Yeah.
And then I tasted pussy and came out the next day.
As often happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was like in the closet for like a day.
Wow. That's cool. That's really cool. How did your family react to you coming out?
Well, this is a question I get a lot. I don't have family, so I'm an orphan. My dad died when I was 10, and my mom is just very abusive and a drug addict. So I was put in foster care when I was 15, and then left foster care when I was 16. And I was like homeless on and off between 16 and 22-ish. So I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I have a little brother and I have a grandma. I didn't come out to my grandma until like 5 years ago. She's wonderful and so great. And now she has dementia, so we have this joke that I make with her. It's like, Granny, I don't care if you forget who I am. Just don't forget that I'm gay. And she just laughs hysterically every single time. So.
Yeah, that's great.
Now when she forgets, like the other day, she was like, "When are you going to get a boyfriend?" And I was like, "Granny, you're in trouble." And she started cracking up laughing. And then she was like, "Oh, you're gay. I'm sorry. When are you going to find a boyfriend?"
That's awesome. That's what a perfect coming out story too.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I don't have parents, so I didn't give a shit. But I think that even if you do have parents, you can just not give a shit. But maybe that's me speaking from my experience. I don't know. I have no idea what it's like to, like, you know, be worried about losing someone that loves me and is nice to me because I'm gay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's deep, but like it's true.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. I know from experience. So yeah, it's kind of it sucks. So yeah. But you know, everyone gets over it eventually. Yeah. I even have a 6-year-old daughter now. My parents are like, you know, like LGBT activists pretty much now. So that's pretty great.
That's so cute. When I told my grandma that the Salvation Army funds anti-LGBT laws, she called them and asked for all of her money back over the past 20 years that she's donated to them.
Fuck yes. Did it work?
No, but she just told me, she was like, "My granddaughter is a lesbian. How dare you take my money for this long? You better take me off your calling list."
Oh, that's amazing. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. You're kind of like a parent, I guess, to young lesbians around the world, like sort of like, you know, sort of giving the sex ed and stuff. Like, I think, not that you're like a parent, but kind of, you know, you kind of have that kind of role in some people's lives, I imagine.
Yeah, they call me mom a lot, and I don't like it. I wish they would call me big sis, because I'm not that much older than you guys.
Well, I mean, I think I'm probably older than you, actually, so I won't be calling you mum. But yeah, no, I think it's so great what you're doing, and it's so open and honest and fun, and yeah, I really like it, and I really admire what you're doing. And hopefully keep going. Fuck YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I feel like I need to, like, I don't even know. Talking about algorithms is boring. But, yeah, I think that I just need to put, like, half my videos need to not be sex ed based or vulgar in any way. And I just got diagnosed with a couple genetic illnesses. So I'm able to make, like, videos about disability now.
Yeah.
Well, I was always able to, but now I'm, like, extremely passionate about it, because of all the things I'm learning about the healthcare industry and accessibility stuff.
I saw these videos, this video yesterday about your diagnoses and mistaken diagnoses for years.
Yeah, oh my God. I need to make a list. I think I've had like 15 wrong diagnoses. The first one was black mold poisoning. LOL. So random.
Oh my God, did they just make that up?
I mean, because I was, you know, poor and almost homeless, like, and I was like 21, 20, something like that, and I was going into the hospital because I was sleeping 20 hours a day, and I was passing out anytime I stood up, and, like, I had all these weird symptoms, and they were just like, "You're fine," and would send me home. And so I just started Googling shit, you know, and so then I found black mold poisoning, and, like, talked to a doctor, and they were like, "Yeah, maybe you should eat more vegetables and go start exercising." And I was like, "Okay, great. So I can get over this. I can get better. Awesome." So then I started working out, and because I was a long distance runner before, I was like training to be a fitness model before I got sick. And even though I had lost like 30 pounds of like muscle, I started like running, and then just kept injuring myself. Like I had just my knees and my hips and my ankle, I would just twist them, and like I would be bedridden for like 3 months just from like trying to run. But yeah, then I would just like be like, okay, well, if I'm fucked up, I need to like have money.
Yeah.
I need to have, so I can like pay for health insurance to like go to the doctor. So for like 8 years, I was just juggling, focusing on my work, focusing on building an audience and trying to like be able to be financially secure. And then every once in a while I would go and be like, okay, I'm going to go to 17 doctor's appointments in 1 month and like try to beg everyone to take me seriously, which was absolutely exhausting. So then I made disabled friends, and they fucking literally saved my life and like basically, taught me how to interact with doctors, because I had no idea. I grew up so poor. I've never had health insurance my entire life, so I don't know how it works. And then basically helped me strong arm them and threaten them into giving me a diagnosis.
Wow. And so now, I think making videos about healthcare would be a great thing, because, people not having access to doctors is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's so bad. I mean, so my health insurance costs me $350 a month, and every time I go to a doctor, it costs me $50 as a copay. So if I have physical therapy, so for my condition, I should probably say it because it's I'm just sorry about being disabled. I have a genetic collagen deficiency. No, not deficiency. I don't know the word. I have a problem with my collagen, and it's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And then something that comes along with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is called POTS. So I have those two things that I've been diagnosed with so far. We'll see. So experts recommend that I need to see a physical therapist 3 times a week for 30 minutes to an hour. So that's already $350 for the month, and then $150 a week just for the physical therapy, not for my psychiatrist, not for my cardiologist, not for my primary care. That's just physical therapy. So disability is really fucking expensive, and I am lucky enough that I can afford it almost.
Yeah. That's madness. I'm glad you've been diagnosed, though.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I just don't want this happy bubble to pop, but I know it does at some point where I'm going to become frustrated again. But I'm just like, fuck yeah, I have a word I can use to tell people what's wrong with me, instead of being like, I don't know, maybe I'm making it up,
Yeah. Maybe it's black mold disease.
Oh my God. All my doctors told me I was just depressed for so long, and then they would be like, we're going to refer you to psych. And then I'd go to psych, and the psychiatrist is like, you're not depressed. And I'd be like, thank you. I fucking know.
Wow. Oh man, that's crazy, isn't it? Just passing the buck, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was so great chatting.
That was a really great interview, Sally.
Oh, thank you. I love talking to Stevie. I think she's great.
I meant for the other person on the other end, you not so much. You still need some work.
Next week, Sarah, we're doing the legal episode. Because guess what?
Ooh.
As an LGBTQI person, you have legal rights. And we're going to go...
in this country, sure.
Yeah, and so we're based in Australia, guys, in case you can't tell. We have...
most people think that I sound foreign.
We have a lot of laws and stuff here that actually protect us and our rights. So,
laws and stuff? Is that a technical term?
So we're going to be talking about that, which I can't wait. We actually talked to an actual real-life lawyer who works at the
Ellie McNeil.
Who works at the LGBT Law Centre in Brisbane, and she was really great. So, yeah, if you've got any legal questions... send them through. So,
I'll send them through to a legal representative. I'm not legally trained, and neither is Sally. We like to pretend we are, but we just watched a few episodes of Ellie McBeal.
No, I'm just going to say that I would actually consider myself to be a professional amateur lawyer, because I've seen all seasons of The Good Wife and The Good Fight.
You're also an amateur bloody ghost hunter and Bigfoot hunter.
I'm an armchair Bigfoot hunter.
I'm not sure that that's actually like a degree.
Well, I'm an armchair Bigfoot hunter. You stop talking over me.
I will talk over you if I want.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Goodbye.